Hey, happy Tech Talk Tuesday. This is Michael Demond with WeMerge Media, and today is Tech Talk Tuesday. Welcome aboard, everybody, to today's show. We're going to talk about a couple of things, but our main focus for today's show is Facebook groups. I'm going to talk about Facebook groups, tell you a little story about why I abandoned Facebook groups and then ended up coming back to it. But before I do that, I just have to let you know that collectively, we have finally hit that milestone that I wanted to hit, and we have finally reached 500 subscribers on YouTube. I know that said followers, but we're going to act like that says subscribers. So we are now at 500 subscribers on the WeMerge Media Tech Talk Tuesday show. And that's going to be good because that's going to unlock some features in about a week or so that I'll be able to show you what happens once you get your channel to 500 subscribers. So that's one of the reasons why I want to hit that first milestone, because it unlocks some things that we as business owners can use as we're doing our video podcast shows. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about today's episode. I want to thank everybody, all of our subscribers, the Be Well community, the tech talkers, the Bond to Builders. I want to thank all of y'all for helping me reach that milestone. And I'm looking forward to having that stuff unlocked so that I can show you what happens and what you can do differently once you reach that 500 subscribers. So if you're watching this video and you're looking at this on YouTube and you do not see subscribed, go ahead and click that button, get that ready so we can reach our next one, which is 1,000 subscribers. So again, I can show you some more features that get unlocked once you reach that point. So our topic of today's show is going to be how to organize your Facebook group content. Now, the reason I made this post is because this one, for me, actually led to me leaving Facebook groups a while back because I didn't like the group experience. And I'm going to tell you a little backstory about what I didn't like about it and what's changed. And maybe you might want to take another look at how you're using your Facebook group, or you might even want to start a Facebook group if you don't have one already. So my backstory is I had a Facebook group. I've had 2 or 3 Facebook groups that I poorly managed. I will take that on as myself. And part of the reason I poorly managed them is because I couldn't create the group member experience that I wanted. I found that content was hard to find. It was hard to organize things in a way that I wanted to organize them. And it just made me not want to even put anything in there. Now, I have been part of groups who have used Facebook groups well. And typically in those situations, they have multiple administrators. They're very active, but I'm doing this by myself, like some of you. At least at that time, I was doing it by myself, and it just was not flowing the way I wanted it to flow. So what I did is I left Facebook groups and I went and started my own group, which is Bond to Build, my own virtual community for entrepreneurs. And there I can do everything that I love to do. I can go live in there. I can do my courses in there. I have content that's gated that people have to pay for access to. So I can do all that stuff inside of there. Those things aren't necessarily as easy to do inside Facebook groups, even though you can do some of those features now. So that brings me to today and why I decided to start a Facebook group again. And I'll share this with you so that you might want to think about how you can incorporate this into your own strategy. But I'll tell you what changed and what kind of made me say, okay, I understand where Facebook groups fits into my picture. And then this is the way I'm going to use it. After I set that up, we're going to go ahead inside of one of my Facebook groups. This is my newest group called Video Podcasting for Beginners. I'll take you inside of there and I'm going to show you 3 features that I like to use to organize content so that I can also create a better experience for the members. It's not just about what it's like for me, but I'm also thinking about what it's like for people who are inside that group and maybe looking for specific content. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. It looks like everybody can see me and hear me. Cool. Thanks everybody for showing up. Let me put some of these up on here real quick. Providers Helper, thank you so much. If you don't know, you need WeMerge Media. We do some good things together. So I love working with Childcare Providers Helper. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Jacqueline. Oh, okay. You got the Heirloom Vintage and Collectibles. Got that going over on YouTube. Good to see you. Jocelyn is here from Phoenix. Welcome, Jocelyn. Thanks for tuning in. Jocelyn is with the International Harp Therapeutic Harp Program. That's what it is. I have to remember the letters, but they have a group of harpists who actually provide therapeutic harp playing at different hospitals and all that stuff. It's pretty amazing. So I've been having some fun working with Jocelyn on that project. We got Carmen here. Carmen, thank you for helping me cross crossed that threshold over to 500. I asked Carmen, I was like, hey, I'm 6 people away. Can you help me? So she posted. We got there, reached out to my family. We got there. Everybody checked to make sure they're subscribed. So thanks everybody for being here. Crystal, Awake Joy, Jojo Powell, welcome aboard. I know Jackie said you got a little freezing. Okay, change devices, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and get started in our content here. Thanks everybody for being members and part of the community. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into our screen share and walk you through the group and then show you how I'm using the 3 features that I really find useful for people who manage Facebook groups. So let me get the screen share all set and ready to go. And then I'm also going to just kind of talk about each of these features one by one. So I'm going to take you inside my group. Now, if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or if you're thinking about starting a podcast, I'm going to recommend that you join the Facebook group. It's called Video Podcasting for Beginners. The reason I chose video podcasting is because you can use video podcasts both for audio and video content. So don't think just because it says video podcast for beginners that it won't relate to you if you do audio. There's a strategy behind that. I'm teaching people how to create one piece of content and use it 15 different ways. So starting a video podcast will not only fill up your YouTube channel, but it can also fill up your audio channel so that you have content on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. So if you're not already a member, go ahead and jump inside. So let me take you over there now so that we can see what that looks like. And I'm going to just kind of show you how I'm using this group and why Facebook earned my return. Okay, so I left in 2020, and then towards the end of last year, I spent some time getting Bond to Build going. But I spent some time, came back to Facebook because I'm part of the Be Well magazine group. And I noticed some new features in there. Can I help facilitate that group? And I'm just like, oh, I'm seeing some stuff inside of here that I really like and would love to use. So I decided to create a midpoint, an entry point into my Bond to Build community. So here's that strategy that I'm talking about, how you might want to use Facebook groups in your own business. So I know that if somebody encounters me for the first time, maybe they see me on YouTube, maybe they see me on Instagram, they might see some content that they're interested in, but they not necessarily at that exact point may want to go the step further and become a customer or buy a product. So what I need to do is I need to earn that trust. I need to earn that business. And my focus for this year is on video podcasting, helping 100 people start their video podcast so that they can grow their business. So with that, I needed to have a way to be able to educate people about video podcasting, why I think it's important, how they can use it, how it fits into their business. So in order for somebody to really understand the value of that, I understand that I have to do some educating. And I have to create a path to get them to that point where they say, yes, I'm ready to go. Put me in the coaching program. Let's get my podcast launched in 60 days or less. Okay. So my way to do that is by creating content about video podcasting, sharing that content on all my platforms, educating people about the value of creating video podcasts and the opportunities that come from it. But once I have people's attention, and if they want to know a little bit more about it, the easiest way to get them to the next place is to actually get them inside of my Facebook video podcasting group. Now, most people have a Facebook login. Regardless of what people are saying, Facebook is still one of the largest platforms where people are gathering because people are on here for multiple reasons. So it's hard to get people to just totally eliminate it unless they have already, if they're coming onto this platform and spending some hours of their day there. So meeting people where they are, I decided to create the Facebook group so that I can use that as the entry point into the video podcast coaching. So hopefully you followed along with that and that made sense to you. So inside the video podcasting challenge, this is where I'll get into some of the features. I have found 3 features that I really liked. And one of them is kind of similar to creating like a course in a way. But stick with me. I'll explain to you and I'll walk you through. So the third, I'm going to go from 3 to 1, and I'm going to start number 3 with what I thought was the most impressive, and that was guides. Now, depending on your group, you may or may not have guides enabled. But what guides allow you to do is create these sections, a guide, or if you can kind of think about in a course format, if you've ever taken a digital course, typically you'll have either lessons or sections where all that content is organized. So I saw guides on Instagram and I'm just like, I don't quite understand how I'm supposed to use this. And then I saw it again inside of Facebook. So I decided to come in my group and give it a try. So if you don't have it enabled, you may have to enable it. What you'll do is go to your group settings, and inside of your group settings, it's going to show you all these different features that you can add. It's called add features. So these are all different features that you can add to your group. Questions and advice. There's stuff in here about events. You can add recommendations. All this stuff is inside here. The best thing to do is just kind of go inside and poke around. So the way that I decided to use guides in this example for video podcasting was to just educate people about the starting points. Some of the concerns that people typically have is what kind of equipment am I going to need? Do I have to have a lot of software? How can I get some assistance? What about my lighting and all that other stuff? And what I did is I created some posts around each of those topics, and then I organized them into guides. So I'm going to click on one of the first guides, which says video podcasting equipment, because I know a lot of people don't get started because they think they have to spend thousands of dollars on computers, on cameras, and all this other stuff. And I'm just here to tell you that you don't. So I, right now, even am just using my computer's camera. I have a little $30 ring light that I got from Amazon, and I have a microphone that I got for Christmas that I requested because it has a little adjustable arm on it. But before this, I had a microphone that was a clip-on mic. I think maybe it cost me like $20 or something like that. If you have a cell phone, a tablet, you pretty much kind of have what you need to get started. It's just a matter of learning how to use it and being comfortable with it. So inside this guide, what I did was I created multiple posts. So my first post, post like we always create on Facebook, was called lighting options. What's nice about inside of the groups is that they give you the ability to create like titles, make things bold, make things paragraphs. So you can really kind of almost structure it as if you're writing like a letter or a document. Bullet points numbered, you can put things in quotes. Like all this stuff is built inside, but it's only inside of the groups. So I called this lighting options. I put all the information inside of here to let people know about the 3-point lighting system, how my setup is, and then I also added images to the post. This one has one image, but I can have multiple images if I want to. So that's one post that I put and organized inside of video podcasting equipment. If I scroll down, I have another section here called microphone options. And inside of here, again, I created a post, put all my information in there. I have a link in here to Amazon for the light that I use, the microphone that I use. And then I have another one down here talking about cameras, because a lot of times you're watching videos and they make you think you have to go buy a DSLR camera, and you don't. I don't use one yet because I don't want the extra setup. So I explain all of that inside of this post. So once I had those posts created, what I was able to do is add them to a guide. Okay. Now I'll do a tutorial about how to do this later on, for more people who are inside Bond to Build, we'll have some steps in there. But if you create a post, just know for every post that you can create, you can actually organize them into a guide. So there's these 3 little dots on each post. And here I can say add post to guide. And that allows you to organize content in different sections. So when your members come in here, they can click on the guide section and they can see what guides are here. One for video podcasting equipment. There's one here for software suggestions. There's one for coaching services, one for setting up your virtual studio. So I can add to these guides by creating posts at any point. I can also set it up so that people have to mark it as complete. And this is where that kind of educational course part comes in. So if you have content inside of your group that is, let's say, required reading or anything that you want to use to kind of make sure that people have gone through the process and read the content, you can set that up so that they have to mark it as complete. So that's a pretty cool feature that I really like to use, and that's called guides. Now, the next thing that I like inside of here is topics, and I haven't gone through and done it all yet. But topics is set up like keywords, basically like hashtags, if you can think about hashtags. So inside of your post, you can do a hashtag and set up a topic for that hashtag. So I can make a post and I can tag it equipment. And then if someone was to go into topics and click on equipment, they can see every post that I tagged equipment. Okay. Same thing here. If I wanted to go in and I wanted to do one about video software, I can create one for video software and then add any post to that. Automatically, Facebook is going to organize it in that way when I have that topic there inside of the group. So that was feature number 2. Feature number 1. This is one that I know a lot of people may have seen already, and you may or may not use it, but this one is good to me because I think when you have new members coming into your group, it gives you an opportunity to welcome them and give them a place to start. Sometimes you go inside of a group and there is just so much stuff in there because it may have been around for years and you don't know where to start. So what Featured allows you to do is you have this section on the top of your group that you can have posts that are highlighted as the places to start. So I have one that titled Read Me First. Anyone coming into the group is going to see Read Me First. It's going to welcome them into the group, tell them what the group is about, give them access to some additional information. So that's a great way to kind of help people navigate and guide themselves throughout. Also here, I can put any events that are coming up. So if I have any events coming up that I want to feature, because I want to make sure people coming in see that, I can add those here. You'll also notice I have a poll. So I created a poll asking people what concerns you most about launching your video podcast. And then here, people can see this poll at any point when they come in. It even leads to starting some conversation down below, which just creates more engagement inside the group as well. So there's a lot of good features here. Anytime you want to add a post to Featured, what you'll do is, again, click on those 3 dots. It's going to ask you, do you want to pin this to Feature? If I click Pin to Featured, it's going to add it right up top there. I can even reorganize these once I have them here if I want to move things in different orders. So I always want to keep that Read Me First. And now you see I just click on that and it keeps it there. So these 3 dots on your post are going to allow you to do additional things beyond just post. I can add mine to the guide. I can do some post topics and add those there. You can turn on notifications, and you can pin. Okay. So I'm going to come on back to the screen and see if there's any questions at all. Hopefully you've been able to find yourself to the video podcasting group. And if you want to join us, it's free to join us. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. But let me just come back and see if we have any questions at all. Let's stop screen share. Cool. All right. So let's see. Notifications. Where are we? We have some new visitors. Hey, Yolanda, welcome aboard. Good evening. We have a Facebook user there. All right, cool. Let's see what we got. So I would like to share this if I may. Oh, please do. Yeah, this is public. So please go ahead and share. Invite anybody who wants to use it. Let's see what we got here. What comments do we have coming in here? They're coming in. Okay, here we go. All right. So thank you so much, Jacqueline. Heirloom Vintage and Collectibles. Make sure you give her a subscribe over there on YouTube. We got some. I love this. Awesome. I know, Carmen. We're going to be putting some of these features together in the Be Well group. Jacqueline says, you're brilliant. This is so awesome. You are welcome. Yeah, if you're not using groups already and you have so this is the part I forgot to tell you, is that they've kind of shifted away from Facebook pages, and that pretty much has just become an advertising tool. And Facebook made this commitment to creating these communities within. So they put more focus into Facebook groups, and that's why I think that we got better features, better layout, and all that other stuff. So I decided to switch over to there as well. I cannot find Vid Podcast. Okay, we'll figure that out for you. This is awesome. So let me know if you're going to use this. Let me know if you have a group, and is this something that's going to help your group? This is cool to see everybody here. People love the idea of it. What are you using as a media platform? I may have missed it. So if you're talking about what I use to stream, I use StreamYard. That's my primary inside of the video podcasting. I mentioned too. So I like to use StreamYard because StreamYard allows me to be live right now in like 6-7 different places at one time. Whereas you can also do live stream with Zoom, but Zoom only lets you choose one or the other, Facebook or a YouTube page. So I like to use StreamYard, but I'll give people the option when I'm coaching about which one makes more sense for them. Okay. Let's see. Are there features available for existing groups? Yes. So what you may have to do, depending on how old your group is, old groups, there's a place in there where you can go change the format of your group. And then once you do that, there are different settings that they created for different groups. If you just start by going to your group, look for group settings, then go there and see about add more features. And that's where you can figure out what's turned on and what's not turned on. So that'll be a good way to do that. How do you bring up those comments? Great question. This is again is a feature inside of StreamYard. So when you have your StreamYard account connected to Facebook or YouTube, I actually have a little stream here of all the comments, and I can show and hide comments. This is one of the things I love about using this platform is that it lets me do that. Gives it that real kind of TV news type feel to it, which people really like. So cool. I answered your question, Jacqueline. Perfect. Let's see. Yes, I have a group. Let's do this. Yes, this is going to be on our topics of discussion Friday, providers, helpers. So we definitely have to start using this. So that's my show for today. I want to thank everybody here for joining. Thank you all for helping me cross over to that 500 subscribers. So I think YouTube said it takes about a week before they unlock those features. Our next milestone is 1,000 because there's going to be some new features that we can do at the 1,000 level. So please go ahead and give this video a like and a share and a subscribe if you aren't already, so that we can get to the next level and I can show you how to do the same thing. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you around in the community.